Nominated federal judge Amy Coney Barrett to fill the Supreme Court seat vacated by the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Republicans in the U.S. Senate are expected to move immediately to confirm the choice. And joining us right now to discuss the nomination and the process moving forward is KUSI contributor and AM 760 radio host Mark Larson. Mark, good morning.
Morning, Liz. Happy birthday. They're celebrating by throwing a bunch of tantrums in D.C. They've already started.
Oh, yay. Great. Just what I want on my birthday. Thank you for the well wishes, Mark. Judge Barrett, described by the president as a remarkably intelligent woman and a woman of great character. Not a surprise here that the president chose her.
Not at all. And of course, the president did, even for the most ardent Trump haters, you had to admit, if you watched him yesterday, as many of us did, that he just quoted people who were with the judge all the way up through her career. Some of the professors saying, best student I ever had. She didn't just show up. Much is made about the fact that she's been at the current level on the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals based in Chicago for 3 years. She's been through this process before. She's going to see some of the same senators who basically gave her high regard last time. But this is different this time because now it's all about find some way to go against Trump because they're just beside themselves politically right now that he didn't get just one, not two. That was kind of the outset, when he was elected in 2016. There might be up to 2 Supreme Court justices. Now there's 3. And this time the Democrats can't really do anything because the Republicans have everybody in line. Even Mitt Romney said he's going to vote for the nominee. You have the usual Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, who are Republicans in name only, just already before they even knew who it was, saying, well, I'm not going to vote on this. But it's now boiling down to the Democrats are getting some of what they set up. Schumer was talking, the Democrat leader yesterday, about how they're going to get there and then they're going to change this filibuster thing. It used to take 60 votes to get it done in the Senate. Now it takes 51. That's the Democrats' rules. They made them up to use. Now it's being used against them. So be careful what you wish for. So they're going to have to do procedural things. They're going to, I really will be surprised if they do the same kind of scathing interrogation like prosecution as they did with especially Kavanaugh and Gorsuch for that matter as well. Kamala Harris did a big number on that last time. Does she do that the same way, going up against a very highly qualified, accomplished woman who happens to have a family of 7 kids and 2 of them are adopted from Haiti? I mean, all over this, you look at it, all the usual Democrat political vulnerabilities aren't there, but they'll find something. And right now it's all about Trump shouldn't do this, why it's beside the decorum of the president in an election year. And besides, look what Republicans did to Gorsuch last time, Merrick Garland. There's too many names going on.
I know, Garland. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. So we all know that her legal views are in sharp contrast to the late Justice Ginsburg. How confident are you that she can make rulings based on a fair reading of the law? I mean, that would be a concern that some who are maybe more liberal would have.
Well, this boils down to the issue that, the court has morphed in the last decades, where it went from the way the founders intended, the way the constitutional authors had laid it down, that you look at the original's view, and that's the difference. But other than liberal conservative, it's really on the conservative side. That's the originalist view. Scalia had it, many others, where you say, what does the Constitution say? Let's interpret the law. That is, the holy document as far as government is concerned. The other side has been looking at that and saying, well, it doesn't fit today, so let's often imagine what should be there. And that's why some of these decisions that couldn't ever be supported by the people through legislation would never fly, and presidents couldn't get it through. So then all of a sudden they legislate from the bench. That's a no-no. That's not constitutional. So that's the great divide on that. And how do we know that she'll stick to the law? Because she said so, because she's done that. In fact, 3 years ago or so, when she was vetted again by some of the same senators, they asked about that because, well, you're a devout Catholic. How can that possibly be? She said that my faith does not take away, you look at the law, period. So she's on record saying that, as many justices have been before. She's not going to, they'll in these hearings, if they happen in the traditional way, they'll try to trip her up with a few things. Pardon me, that would be how would you rule on this or that? And she's not going to say. They don't say. They shouldn't, because otherwise they've made up their mind. So they've got to be impartial. So are they left with going at her because of her faith, because she's in a more charismatic Catholic faith? I hope they don't go there. That's really not American. And that gets ugly.
48 years old, she would be the youngest to serve on the court. She would be would probably end up being the longest serving Supreme Court justice. I think what's unique also, the fact she has so many children, right? So there's 7 kids, and not all of them are biological kids. She's got a couple of, I believe, adopted kids.
Yeah, children of color. She has the youngest is a Down syndrome, one of her own children, Down syndrome kid. So the whole family unit, what they've done, how they live their lives, these are great things. And I don't know how you go up against that, but they will. And they're going to try to, the Democrats are going to try to do all kinds of procedural things that you never see. They're archaic. They drag them up out of some dusty closet and go, we got a rule. For example, they want to recess. It takes one senator to say, I don't want to recess. And you go, oh, really? So there's the delay mechanisms going on. And then there's also this, if Trump can win re-election, and they're very fearful of that, no matter what they're telling you about Biden, then expect that they will do other things. There's a push already to add to the Supreme Court justices, because they say, listen, we don't have a majority anymore in terms of, right versus left, originalist versus the more liberal wing. Then let's have more justices. For 151 years, we've had 9. So just know it's worked pretty well. And the other big question, Liz, is that with the election coming up and every indication that it's going to be a drawn out, probably going to the Supreme Court if it's way close like it was in 2000, but even more so, to be one justice short on the Supreme Court is not a good thing either. So that's going to help them on the Republican side push the urgency on this.
Sure. 9 is the magic number here, right?
Believe me, it'll be a big topic in the debate on Tuesday. You know that. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm sure we'll talk to you before Tuesday about the debate between Joe Biden and President Trump. Wow. People are already talking about the preparation or maybe the not preparations. I heard this morning that President Trump really hasn't been preparing. He's just, because he does best when he doesn't prepare, apparently, according to some. And Joe Biden, however, has been aggressively preparing, ready to be attacked on so many different fronts. Your quick thought on that.
And with all this high road thing, Biden did his own attacking yesterday, saying the president's just not smart. He's already doing rope-a-dope. It's kind of like when Muhammad Ali would be facing an opponent. They go back and forth with nudges and sometimes insults. There was a network news report I heard yesterday where someone said, Trump has not debated since 2016. I thought, he's out there debating every day. He debates the media. He does it on the South Lawn of the White House. So I think he's prepped in terms of getting out in front and speaking extemporaneously. Sure. Of course, his critics would say, but a lot of times there are falsehoods. Well, Biden has some of those too. So one thing that is kind of refreshing out of this, Liz, is that we've seen a resurgence of American flags. They're everywhere. In fact, to this point now where Biden the other day was speaking, and then President Trump yesterday with the nomination of the Rose Garden, it's like they're both speaking at Betsy Ross's flag factory. There used to be a time where years ago they didn't do that sort of thing. 1988, there was a big debate over, because Bush would have it. And in fact, when Obama came along, there was the debate over, I don't have to wear a flag lapel pin to be patriotic.
That's an interesting observation. Mark Larson, great to talk to you on this Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah.